to the corner, and there goes Colette crashing to the canvas.
Authorities in the Comoros Island on Monday have said they've refused to allow a boat carrying migrants from the French overseas territory of Mayotte to dock. The move is in response to the recent announcement from authorities in Mayotte that they would launch Operation Wambushu, which means take back, in order to remove illegal migrants who have settled in slums on the island.
What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing good. Today is a beautiful day and I'm happy to be here with you again once more. So today we're talking about Comoros and Mayotte. For those of you who don't know, we're going to watch very quickly a quick explanation to what's happening in Mayotte and Comoros. Basically, they're going through some very difficult time. A lot of African nationals, a lot of, let's say, Comorians that go to Mayotte are under arrest and being sent back to Comoros. Let's watch.
It is situated between northwestern Madagascar and northeastern Mozambique in the northern Mozambique Channel in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Southeast Africa. Grande Terre, also known as Maure, is the largest island in Mayotte. Petite Terre, also known as Pamanzi, is a smaller island that surrounds the two main islands. The Mozambique Channel's most rich territory, Mayotte, serves as a significant entry point for illegal immigrants. Mayotte shares the same status as the departments of metropolitan France as one of France's 18 regions and one of its offshore departments. It is the most remote area of the European Union, and as a department of France located abroad, it is a member of the Eurozone.
Thousands of people marched on Thursday in Moroni protesting that the neighboring French island of Mayotte is part of Comoros. Earlier in March, the Indian Ocean island, which is an overseas French territory, was hit by a wave of social protests by its residents against insecurity and immigration from Comoros. French authorities expelled undocumented Comorians out of Mayotte, but Comoros retaliated by refusing to accept back the expelled citizens, insisting that Mayotte is its own sovereign territory. She says, "I am confident that Mayotte will return to its natural land one day like today."
So we see clearly that Comoros and Mayotte are literally the same people that were separated after colonialism and independence. And stories tell us that the reason why they were separated were not necessarily legal. They say Mayotte people voted to be part of France. That's what they say officially. The truth is the vote was supposed to be not island by island, but global. So globally, they all voted for independence. Island by island was different. France, as per se, grabbed into that opportunity to keep Mayotte within its frame so they can continue the colonization. You know how they always do, how they roll with these things. Now, what breaks my heart here is to see African nationals from one side of the world, one side of Africa, moving to another side, which is their own side, being persecuted by French nationals. Now, if you look at these people, they say Mayotte is part of France. Officially, France has sent military to go and fight delinquents and immigrants, okay? Now, look at these French people that say Mayotte is part of France and compare them to people from Mayotte. Do they look different? Do they look different? Of course, they look different. Now, look at France, the way France is. Look at the city, look at the people, look at the trend of life. Now, look at Mayotte, that's supposedly France. Does it look the same? No, it doesn't. Why? Independence was a long time ago. Why hasn't these islands progressed? Why haven't they moved forward? Why seemingly they're all living in poverty and difficulties? While France, on the other side in Europe, lives beautifully eating cheese and milk and cakes and all that French cuisine. None of that is available in Mayotte. But in the meantime, they still want to keep their hand on Mayotte. I think it makes just sense now to understand what type of world we live in. In 1975, in the United Nations, they asked France to liberate Mayotte, to let it go, let it be united with their brothers, with Comoros, with all other countries, all other islands, to stay together like they were created together. They refused to do it. So in defiance to the United Nations, they refused to do it. What can we say about that? Just imagine another country refusing to implement what the United Nations says, an African country. What's going to happen? They're going to send a raid of militaries and soldiers and aeroplanes to bombard and free that country. Same as what happened with Gaddafi and Iraq and many other places, right? So why isn't anything happened to France since the United Nations said openly they should let these people be together the way they were initially? Is colonialism really over? Is it really finished? Or are we living in another era of neo-colonialism where it's pushed down our throats, it's forced upon to us to accept or to die? Please give us an explanation.
We take note of the closure of the port of Anjouan by the Comoran authorities for work. I regret that this morning we had a boat that was able to leave with 60 people on board who had paid their ticket. Because with the Comoros we have common interests. We have exchanges every day. What we hope is that in the dialogue that we are establishing with the Comoros, we will be able to resume these rotations quickly and have these rotations, we will say, in a normal mood.
Why all the seniors in the army, all the seniors in police are all from France? They all look different. Why is that? Why all the members of government, all the representatives that are on the high end of the political body in Mayotte are all white people from France and not people from Mayotte? It doesn't make any sense. Lately, there was a wave of people not liking France very much in Africa, especially in East Africa. Mali kicked them out. They want liberation, total liberation. They were blackmailed in many, many ways, but finally they kicked them out. Burkina Faso did the same. And many French people, and especially the French president, complained saying, is there anti-French sentiment in Africa? Now, how can there not be that kind of sentiment if it feels like you're just trying to rule over people that don't necessarily want you there? People that belong there, you don't want them there. You want to kick them out so you can keep and occupy the land. How can people not be angry at you? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, we are in 2023 and we're still living in opportunity, a time where you want to rule over other countries. I mean, look at the distance between France and Mayotte. This is over 8,000 kilometers. 8,000. How did you get that island? How does it become France? It doesn't even look like France. Now, you tell us which African islands is somewhere in Europe. Just point to us one African island that's somewhere in Europe or in America. There is none. But they can have island on the side. I mean, we're trying to be fair. There's nothing against French people, nothing against French human beings that are actually going through the same difficulties as us. We actually love you. We love you very much. But we are against these higher powers that are trying to control people in 2023 because that is unacceptable. God bless.